Hey Hotshots, Jess with Emotional Fire Academy, here today to talk about the top 3 reasons why highly sensitive people are primed for emotional evolution, if not having an advantage over non-HSPs. Subscribe to my channel if you are an HSP looking to up-level this year. I'm Jess, welcome. This is what we do here. We are all about helping highly sensitive people and their emotional evolution. I am a master NLP practitioner and former firefighter, so you are in good company. Now, I have a really exciting announcement to make. I just released today the new mini course, Emotional Mastery Basics for Highly Sensitive People. So this is over an hour of video lessons, 6 written lessons with really deep self-inquiry exercises to help you not only understand where emotions come from, but then the framework of how to control them. Now, this information completely transformed my life. When I saw this framework and kind of made it my own, that's when my own journey really catapulted to the next level. And this mini course is great for if you're just dipping your toe in the water, if you're new to my channel or an old veteran, all are welcome. This is going to be helpful for everyone. And it has a great low price of $7.77. So check that link out below. I will put it in the description box. It's available now. It's live. You can go ahead and get started on it. So, and this is going to provide the top 3 reasons why you can take that next step very rapidly. Now, I never imagined I could evolve as much as I have. And I think these are the top 3 reasons why we can do this as highly sensitive people. This interesting wound complex that we have will get us to the next level. It will catapult us to the next level because of certain qualities of it. So what are those 3 reasons? The first one is being hyper vigilant. That hypervigilance that highly sensitive people use to scan their environment to make sure that everyone in their pool of relationships is doing okay and that they're okay and that the status of the relationships are okay. That hypervigilance to the details, the relationships that is usually pushed outward can be turned inward very quickly. And when you turn it inward, you can rapidly scan yourself for the little seeds of negative emotion that start to sprout. And so that sensitivity to subtle stimuli, the hypervigilance, you can pluck out those little tiny weeds of negative emotion before they can get too big. And this is a great skill to have because often a lot of people who aren't as in tune or aren't as vigilant will suddenly be in the midst of something huge, whereas a highly sensitive person can kind of feel it in the field before it gets too big. So this is a great skill to have in terms of emotional mastery, because that's what we want to do. We want to nip things in the bud before they turn into something that's out of control. The next thing that highly sensitive people are great at, or that have an advantage over non-HSPs, is the activation of the emotional vividness gene. Now, this gene actually creates the sensation of when you are experiencing emotion of it being more vivid than those who don't have the gene activated, which is the other approximately 80% of the population. So HSPs experience emotion that much more vividly. It's that much more real for them, which creates the over emotionality because it is so convincing. It's so easy to fall into the illusion. By that same token, it doesn't take a lot to get upset. But the good part is it doesn't take a lot to feel good either. That vividness that can be tapped into in a positive way to generate more positive emotion as opposed to more negative emotion. So it takes just a little bit of either one to then start to blossom. And if you can get on track with only being available to the positive emotion blossoming, then you are on your way to emotional mastery. That is really the essence of it. Again, kind of tied into the first one of not letting things get too big and too out of control and then having to do damage control. And the third reason why HSPs have an advantage for emotional evolution, for emotional mastery, quick emotional mastery, is the social stigma that comes from being a highly sensitive person. A lot of the literature, the classic traditional literature on highly sensitive person, describes these traits, the over emotionality, the sensitivity to subtle stimuli, being overstimulated easily. These traits are naturally putting that person, that individual who identifies with this personality type, in a victim position. It's very victimizing. And on top of that, there's a social stigma of highly sensitive people are fragile, they're delicate, they're too sensitive, they're too much, they're too whatever, the two, TOO, terrible twos. So that the social stigma, the traditional portrayal of an HSP, the experience of an HSP, I mean, those things influence how we then experience being an HSP. It certainly did for me. And it feels victimizing too. It feels like you're at a disadvantage. It feels like you're always trying to play catch up. It feels like you have to constantly be on guard. You can't ever relax unless you're alone, locked in a dark house. So that all that negativity and victimhood and the perceived social stigma, that makes it a breath of fresh air to actually talk about emotional mastery, to then switch gears and go the opposite direction of, being an HSP actually puts you in advantage for rapid personal growth. Being an HSP actually makes you, have these huge bursts of emotional evolution possible because you have these traits going on in your advantage to your favor. So that is really nice. It's really nice to hear the opposite of like, wow, I can change really quickly. I can be whoever I want really rapidly because I'm a highly sensitive person. Because it's never the comfortable fish that climbs out of the water and onto land. It's never the comfortable fish who climbs out of water and onto land. It's the one who senses there's something more. It's the one who is willing to take that leap. It's the one who's uncomfortable where they're at, who is then highly, highly motivated to get to the next level. And that is all centered around that social stigma, the negative experience of being a highly sensitive person, the traditional description of what it's like. That is all fodder for clawing your way onto land and then living an excellent life. Because I'm telling you from the other side, it really is wonderful. You can change as fast as you want to change. The mini course will help you do that. Go ahead and check that out. Again, the description is below in the box. The link to the course. It's at a great bargain price. You're going to get a lot of value out of it. And comment, let me know what you think about these 3 advantages that highly sensitive people have. Let me know what you think. Comment below, and I will hopefully see you in the course. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.